Well, this session is on strategic collaboration, and I'm going to take you through a tool I've used very often called the decision tree. And what's it for? It helps you generate better, educated guesses. And frankly, all business is almost every decision you'll make in business, whether a team or individual, is a best guess. You hardly ever have all the facts. You've often got to make assumptions. Sometimes facts are wrong, whatever. It's all about best guess. And there's a tool to help you get better best guess and therefore better decisions. All right. So specifically, would today be successful for you if you gain some insight and exposure to a tool that help you improve team collaboration? Now, specifically, what does that mean? Well, it means tools to help you frame the discussion better so it's more clear to everybody what you're trying to accomplish and what they're all agreeing to and different issues, whatever. Too, it's a technique to gain everybody's input. People feel part of it, they're engaged, they get to contribute, and therefore as a result the team has more buy-in. When you have more buy-in, you generally get better results. And four is, if you ever been to a meeting where you come to a decision, all of a sudden new information comes in. And the new information comes in, oh my gosh, we're going to go back and restudy everything. Well, in this tool, you don't. You can actually modify with the new information right away and still come to a very disciplined, best educated guess decision. So I hope that would be successful for you. Now, your commitment is if you don't like the session, well, please leave gracefully and quietly. But two, if you like it, share this with some other people and try it. And three, if you loved it, celebrate. Tell everybody. Come to more of these sessions that I run and consider calling me if I can help you and the team. So let's talk about decision tree. When and how to use it. Use it for a lot of different things. One is forecasting, analysis, maybe recommendations you're going to make, decisions you got to make. It's an individual tool, but it's especially a great strategic collaboration tool. So, look, a lot of decisions, they may look simple at first, but a lot of decisions are very complex. Have you ever had these issues where, as an example, the approach, you sort of knew the decision, but, you know, weren't sure how to get something done? Or you get a question about the direction, but what's the best way to move forward? Or you had questions on priority of different options and to align your resource investments and where to prioritize them. Or for economics, just, hey, financial decisions, I got to choose between a couple of alternatives. Have you ever had this situation when you're facing any of those? You sort of know what the right core decision is, but you're having difficulty explaining it. Two is, well, you're unsure of the right decision. It's a close call. It's difficult to make. Three is, you took a risk. Frankly, with the same facts, the same situation, you'd probably take that risk again. But since it didn't go well, now you've got to explain it. And four, well, you understand the basic decisions, but you need more input on potential things that can happen and probabilities those happen and what are the issues. And you want to make sure you didn't miss anything. You've had those, right? Well, this can help. So, regardless of what you're working on, the basic process is pretty much the same, right? You gather facts, you assemble those facts, you step back from those facts, try to make sure you've got perspective and analyze them, and then you recommend actions. Well, with the decision tree, we map that. Step one is we map the decision. What is it we're trying to achieve? What's the decision? Two is, well, we got different options. What are the different approaches as a solution that you actually make? And of those options, you take each one, you say, well, if I do that option, what might happen? What occurrence might happen? What might be the result of that? Two is, what's the value, positive or negative, of that result for each outcome, financially? Or it could be a qualitative decision. You put it on a scale of like 1 to 10 or 0 to 100. And then what's the probability of it happening? And you use all that mathematically, you come up with your best educated guess. And it's a tool that a lot of companies use, especially more sophisticated ones, but it's easy to use. It may be used on Wall Street. It's easy to use on Main Street. So let me give you an example. Let's say we've got this high school student and he's thinking about his career. If he goes to college, what major? And you tell me. He's got a 9-year view of this. So you got 3 people involved: mom, dad, and the student. And man, they can't decide. Mom sort of likes the idea of pharmacy school. Dad likes the idea of business school. And the kid's going, I love cars and I got an offer. I've been working part time. They'll let me come in and learn how to sell cars. And some of those guys make a pretty darn good living. All right. So they sit down and say, okay, what's our best guess on some of the information we're dealing with here? So they start with the business school. Best guess. What will be the debt at graduation? They say 30,000. What about pharmacy school? Well, it's a little bit more, 50,000. All right. What's the chance you go to business school, you're going to graduate? 2 reasons. One, academically get through. That's probably not the issue. Or 2 is, do you like it? And we said, they agreed, 90% chance if they start business school, that kid's going to finish and graduate. Pharmacy school, they're not as sure. They're pretty sure, but 75% chance. It's okay. What happens if they don't graduate from either of those schools? Well, they agree, probably make a decision at the end of the sophomore year. And then from there, go directly into car sales. That's what you love. We'll get the family connection. You can get the job there. It's all good. All right. So what do they do now? Well, they say, well, what might the income be for each of those scenarios? So on business degree, once they graduate, year 1 make 50,000, year 2 65, and they agreed those are pretty reasonable. They talked about them and came up with those as reasonable best guesses. And they did the same thing for pharmacy degree. It starts at a higher income, but it levels off quickly around 90. And then car sales, starts pretty small. You're the new kid on the block, but it can grow. And they come up with a still pretty complex. They can't decide. So they map it. Option 1 is go to pharmacy school. And we said there's 2 possible outcomes, graduate or not. And we said the probability, it's got a total 100%, 75% chance graduates, 25% chance not. And then starts money if they graduate starting in 5 years. Or they drop out after 2 and they get 7 years of income. And they go through that. And then the business degree, the same concept. And then the car sales, same concept. And now we got to see, well, what is that income? So, if they go to pharmacy school, the first 4 years they're not making anything. But if they drop out, they start making money the 3rd year. Same thing in business school. But if they go directly into car sales, they start making money right away. So you add up the total income for that period of time. We get a 9-year horizon. We subtract the debt under each of those scenarios. The debt's half because you only stayed 2 years. Multiply it by the probability, which equals 100%, and you get a mathematical, what's called an expected value. It's a mathematical truism of probability. And when you add that together, that's 385. And then the business school one, they come up, it's a little better, 378. But if they go directly into car sales, that's the best decision. And the kid's thrilled. Mom's not so happy. She goes, well, wait. I want to do a sensitivity analysis. I want to try another set of assumptions. And the dad and kid go, okay, what do you want to change? She says, well, the only thing I want to change is, I know there's some car salespeople that make a lot, but most of them, I don't think they make that much. Okay, what's your best guess on the number? And she gives them the best guess, 40,000. And again, immediately just run the math, and immediately you've got mathematically, right? If that income was 40, the best decisions go to business school. See how easy that was for a complex, very difficult decision. It's getting people's buy-ins, getting their perceptions, getting their opinions. And again, a good educated guess is better than no guess at all, or a pure guess. And then you say, well, what if it's not a financial decision? Well, you just put it on a scale, like a 1 to 10 or 1 to 7 or 0 to 100. For this example, I'm going to use 0 to 100. 0, I'd hate it. 100, it'd be awesome. So let me give you an example. I've had that situation as a married couple. I know I have with Kathy. What are we doing Friday night? Oh my gosh, this discussion. What are we going to do Friday night? So I go to Kathy. Kathy, what are the options? She goes, well, There's a dance that I hear that's going to be pretty good. You know how I love to dance. There's a party that I might want to go to. My good friend said the movie's awesome, or we could stay home and veg. And they can't decide. And so I asked her, I said, well, tell me more about the movie. Right? She says, well, my friend Susie said it was really good. It's a love story. Most of the times I love a love story, but sometimes I hate them. They're just not that good. I said, well, then on a 0 to 100 scale, let's assume you like it. How much do you think you'll like it based on what you heard? She goes, not the best ever, but probably an 80 on a 100-point scale. And when you haven't liked one of those kind of movies, how bad? Ugh, waste of time, a 10. Okay, based on what you've heard, what's the probability you're going to like it? What's the probability you're not going to like it? He said 75-25, adds to 100%. I said, great. What about the party? She goes, well, Diane is likely to be there. She's a blast. But if she's not there, it's not going to be nearly as much fun. And I said, okay, well, if she's there, 0 to 100 scale, what do you think? She goes, it beat the awesome. It's 100. You know, if she's not there, well, it wouldn't be that good, be a 20. And the probability, 50-50. So what about the dance? She goes, Dave, you know I love to dance. And it'd be like a 90. Maybe closer to, we'll call it a 90. But if it's disco, I don't like that as much if it's not top 40. If it's disco, it's not going to be as good. Well, how would you value that? It'd be okay, but be a 30. And based on what you've heard and seen, what's the probability? 80-20. And I said, what about staying home? She said, well, it's not the best thing, but it's good. We always have a good time. She put a 75 on it, but then she said, but sometimes you get called away in an important call. And that becomes now a 25. I said, what do you think the odds are of that? She goes, 90-10. All right, well, let's see what it comes out. We map it, each decision. We multiply it by the probability. We multiply that times the value. And we get the expected value. So the movie is valued at a 63, the party at a 60. The dance is the best option. It's a 78. Second was stay home. It's a 70. And we're all set. That's going to be the plan. And then something happens. Susie called. Reality check. She talked to her again. Susie just came back. She went to the movie a second time. She goes, I guarantee you're going to love it. I guarantee you're going to really like this one. At worst, you really like it. She said, okay, well, let's look how I valued that. I might want to make an adjustment here. So she said, the value, if I love it, it's a 90. But Susie said, there's no way I'm going to not like it a lot. I'll put a 75 on it. All right, rerun the number. Does it change the decision? Yes, it does. We're going to the movie. All right. So did you notice the effect of using this decision tree? One, if you sort of know the right answer, you can explain it easier. Two is because people can see things, they can trust more through visualization. Two is if you're unsure of the right decision, this makes it easier to make. Three is what if you took a risk and you do it again, the same facts, but now you can explain at least why you took the risk if it doesn't go right. And just to help understand the decision better, to get input from other people. Because again, almost all business decisions are best guesses, and this helps you make a better best guess. So there's a little bit about me. If you want to look at it later, we said at the beginning of the session, you agreed. If today was successful for you and you gained some insight, exposure, a tool that would improve team collaboration or even your own, and specifically how to frame a discussion with more clarity, a technique to gain everybody's input, get them engaged, get them buying, get their opinions, get their information, come to compromises. The result, the team's got more buy-in, so good action's likely to happen. If new information comes in and new opinions, you can quickly see what the result would be, sensitivity analysis, and see if it changed the decision. Well, I know you probably didn't. If you're this far, you probably liked it at least a little bit, or you wouldn't be at this slide. But two, if you liked it, share with some other people, try it. And if you loved it, tell everybody, try it. Come to more of my sessions and consider calling me in the future. I appreciate your time today, and I hope you'll listen to other sessions by Dave Harrison.